gentle people, Sanjay Uchiha here. Hope everyone's having a great Saturday. Welcome back to the channel, where today we'll be talking about Boruto chapter 31. So be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, stay tuned, and let's get right into the review. Of course, shout out tongue twisted there. Shout out to C Hyuga for providing the link to the chapter for me, because the site I usually read my scans for the chapters on, they didn't have it yet, and you know, it was actually pretty good actually getting to read the chapter earlier than I would usually. So see Hyuga, thanks again. Alright, so chapter 31 of Boruto. Honestly, if I were to put it in its simplest form, it is a battle chapter. This chapter we see Naruto take on Delta, one of the high-ranking members of the Kara organization, and so far probably the only female character in Kara, to be honest. This chapter, honestly, I was all over the place reading it because, God, I'm here saying Naruto's performance, because honestly, one of the things I am absolutely scared of in this whole new era of Boruto is the consistency of Naruto and Sasuke's abilities coming from Naruto to Boruto. Will they be written properly? Will all their techniques and power-ups be taken into consideration when going up against these new villains, or will they be written off? Will things be forgotten, and situations they should rightfully get out of, will the writer just forget about it and then just kill them off as a result? So stuff like that. So, and I got that vibe for most of this chapter, about probably half of the chapter, honestly. But anyway, the chapter starts off more like a recap of the last page or so of chapter 30, where Kawaki explains to Naruto and company who Delta is. And of course, we already knew this is just something we already knew regarding the character, and I felt like that was more like a kind of like a wasted page there, more or less. But I guess a little reminder, since this is a monthly series and we have more pages as opposed to it being a weekly series, I guess it's bad and not so bad. So yeah, so Delta, member of Kara, high-ranking member, and all that. So of course Naruto tells Boruto to stay out of it, and Kawaki will defend himself. And we jump straight into the fight itself, where we immediately see Naruto go hand to hand with Delta. And to no surprise, we find out that Delta, her entire body is a scientific ninja weapon, just like Kawaki. And of course, this is in line with the whole theme of technology that the Boruto era has been promoting, as well as the past few fights in the manga. Actually, the use of scientific ninja tools has been very heavy, I'm not gonna lie. But I think it's a good thing, because it kind of helps to ground the fights more to hand, and hand to hand is always been something that Naruto excels at, I'd say, and it allows for some more strategic fights. So the use of technology, it's been helping these fights out for the most part, to bring things back to earth after the heaven and hell clashes towards the end of the Naruto manga. But with that said, Delta quickly forces Naruto to enter his six paths and tail beast sage mode, which is the next complaint I have, where Naruto's always using his six paths powers. I wish there was like more build up to it, something kind of more similar to Dragon Ball, where you know he probably uses sage mode and then tail beast mode, but I guess it is what it is. So we get an interesting exchange between Delta and Naruto, where Delta actually manages to injure Naruto through the abdomen, and I'm there reading and I'm like saying, bro, like what's going on? Because Naruto should have been able to dodge that, predict that, or he should have been able to heal like ridiculously quick, because this is the same guy that took a Shidori through the chest when he was what, 12-13 years old from Sasuke. So and his healing factor is way higher than it was back then. So you know, what the heck? But all in all, we see Delta eventually overpower Naruto, and you know, a sigh of relief. Apparently, Naruto was only, acting weak or just, taking it easy just to get intel out of Delta, which was very interesting. Like, I'm really enjoying how Naruto is handling a lot of the situations as Hokage. It's just one of those moments in this new era, in this chapter specifically, of course, that really shows that Naruto has really grown as an tactician since he was a teenager. I mean, of course, Naruto falls into that. Yeah, he's dumb, but not really dumb. He's kind of does interesting tactics on the fly, but this tactic, just pretending to be weak just to get intel. I mean, probably old Naruto wouldn't have done that. So interesting way to portray Naruto's character, showing growth in his mindset and how he approaches things. Definitely love it. It definitely added a next layer of interest, or it gets bonus points for me from me, honestly, to enhance the chapter. Another thing as well is that reading the fight between Delta and Naruto here, it reminded me of a Dragon Ball fight, honestly, where we see Naruto deciding to get serious with her, and then their auras start flaring up. They tell Boruto and company to step back further, and then they basically fly at each other and start, exchanging blows. It really reminded me of a Dragon Ball fight. I remember I was watching Dragon Ball Z or something. It was pretty crazy. But of course, Naruto to some degree is inspired by Dragon Ball, so I guess no surprise there. And with the escalation of the scale of the fight since the end of Naruto, I guess it shouldn't become as any surprise at this point. For the most part, the fight is well paced. I didn't really have any problems. I think there was a decent usage of the pages and all that. Although reading this on a monthly basis, reading through it kind of feels like I'm flying through the pages. But for the most part, the fight was easy to follow. There was some inconsistencies with the art in the middle part. Sometimes I was kind of saying, looking back at the pages, like, how does this go? Because towards the end, we see Delta release a Rasengan that Naruto used on her earlier in the fight, and the way it was drawn, like Naruto dodged it, kicked her away, and then the Rasengan flew behind him and exploded, and then she landed. So it kind of looked weird, I'm not gonna lie. So I'd say the art this month was kind of sketchy in some parts, but yeah, I think the art could use some work where some of these battles are concerned. I haven't had too much of a problem with the previous fights I've seen, but I think this one was a bit sketchy on the art for this month. But all in all, I thought it was a decent chapter. Interesting development in how Naruto approaches his battles, his tactics. Definitely shows development in his character there. From a battle standpoint, Delta is established as a credible foe because she's going toe to toe with Six Paths enhanced tail beast Sage mode Naruto essentially. So that definitely counts for something. And as I had said in my expectations video that I uploaded last night, is that Naruto versus Delta would be a key part to gauge how or where Konoha stands in comparison to Kara. And the way it's looking, honestly, Konoha isn't at a good place where there are future conflicts with Kara is concerned, because you've got to remember, Delta is not the leader of Kara. Delta, she's high up there, but if she can't go fist to fist with a Six Paths enhanced Naruto at this point in Tail Beast mode with full Kurama, then Jigen must be something else. Granted, with the whole scientific ninja tools, everybody else that goes up against Kara, they're basically at a handicap, basically, because they have to approach the battle without their full arsenal of abilities. They kind of have to keep it hand to hand, or even if they're using ninjutsu, they have to kind of approach it in some crazy strategic way. So there's that. I was kind of hoping for more of a flashback where Kawaki and Delta was concerned. Naruto was kind of trying to get to that, but I guess it didn't really work out the way he wanted to. So there's definitely that, I guess. But all in all, apart from the sketchy art, I thought it was a decent chapter. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next week. We didn't get in next month. We didn't get in Kosh and Koji this month, so that was a bit of a letdown as well, I suppose. It would have been good to get at least a page or two with some a few lines of dialogue, something. But honestly, it's going to be crazy to see how this battle turns out. Kara is going to be a force to be reckoned with, and the way things are looking, Sasuke probably needs to come back to the village, because if this fight was 2-on-1 with Kashi and Koji jumping in, Naruto, it would be it's crazy to say, but Naruto would probably be outclassed here. He's having a warm time, but I guess final assessment or the conclusion in how Naruto stacks up against them, I can probably get a better picture of that next month. But anyway, let me know what you thought about this chapter. If you read it, if you haven't read it, I would recommend you go out and read it. Of course, rate, comment, subscribe. I do Boruto reviews, manga reviews every month. And also, if you haven't seen my review of Dragon Ball Super Broly, I would say definitely go and check that out. Awesome movie right there. Sanjay Uchiha, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.